Sure.
BYL Nation, we are here for the long-awaited unveiling of our state tournament field for the Legacy Division here in Massachusetts. Again, we announced it months and months ago that we're going to be doing this new format here, where it's a combined state tournament for all locations. So we're going to take our South Division from Dana Barros in Stoughton, Mass. We're going to take our North Division from Apex Athletics in Peabody, and then our Central Division from Four Kicks in Marlborough, Mass. Everybody's going to be seeded 1 through 16 for the Legacy Division. And then, yeah, we're going to crown a state champion in a few weeks' time here. So I'm here, Taylor Pettiford. I don't even know what my title or role is anymore with OG Adam Silver, right? That's what you can call me for BYL Hoops. We've got our commissioner from the North, Lucas Pinto, and we've got our head of operations, interim commissioner for the Central, does it all, man who makes it all happen behind the scenes, Kenny Seitz. Yeah, we're going to walk you through these picks here, guys. So hopefully everybody is as excited as we are. I'll go ahead and share screen for us, and we're going to get straight to it. So again, as you can see, this is a 16-team bracket. We've taken the top 16 from across the state. There's 6 bids from the South, 6 bids from the Central, and 4 bids from the North that will make up these 16 teams. Just like March Madness, which will be kicking off in a few weeks' time as well. We seed them 1 through 16. Top seed plays the lowest seed, and then so on and so forth. But without further ado, let's get to it. Our number 1 overall seed for the tournament, it's probably no surprise to most. The big homies from the Central location here. These guys are 6-0 on the season, and they were 10-0 last season. So am I right,
Undefeated.
Kenny?
Yep.
They've never lost a game as a group?
Never lost a game, undefeated, won the chip last session, and then 6-0 so far this season.
So for those who haven't had a chance to get out to Marlboro, talk to us a little bit about the big homies. Like how do they go consecutive sessions here undefeated, a 16-game streak?
So their captain at the helm, Jeff Moore, has a JUCO background. So himself as a max guy or a mid-level guy leading the team, as well as having Max King as his reigning MVP of the team, bringing those two back, as well as pretty much carrying the whole team that they had last session based on our free agency levels, and just playing well together out of the area and continuing what they did last session, this session.
Nice, nice. Love to see guys taking advantage of the new free agency format there. So, again, the big homies, number 1 overall seed for the tournament here. We're going to actually go in order of the seeds and not necessarily the matchup. So we'll see who they're faced off against here towards the end. But our number 2 seed, also undefeated, if you look in the bottom right here, there comes from the North Division. So this is the 6-0 money line. They were the summer champions,
Yep.
fall runner ups, maybe. I don't know, but talk to us a little bit about them, Lucas.
So they actually got upsetted in the what's the round right before the championship.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it was a huge upset by the team name slips my mind right now, but since they've won the championship, honestly, they've gotten better. Their team is way more efficient. So no, I'm hyped to see whoever they're matched up against, man, for sure.
Yeah, and they're captained by Matt Teklu, I know.
Yeah.
Kind of anchored by Temi Bailey, right? Who are some of the other players?
Oh, they have Kadir. He's a very good slasher for him. Gets a lot of rebounds. They're still rolling with their point guard, Jorsa. Watch your pockets around him.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, we look forward to seeing them. They got the 2nd overall seed. Number 3 overall seed team I'm very familiar with. Your reigning champs from the South. 4-2 on the season, but they come out the top spot from the South, and that's Renegades. So captained by Cam Moniz. Again, they won the championship last session. They've got reigning MVP Keelan Cross back in the fold, but also have a really good supporting cast around them. You've got guys like Ethan Gaffney, who's actually our commissioner from the South. But then you've got Alan St. Cyrin, who's added a nice dynamic, kind of a Draymond, defensive enforcer type of a presence out there. And then the sneaky guy for them will be Zion Lavelle. He's only played probably combined a game and a half throughout the course of the season, but he might be pound for pound the best athlete in all of Legacy, to be honest. I mean, he gets up there. He tried to yam it on an elite team last night in the Elite Legacy Showdown. Didn't quite flush it, but yeah, we're excited to see what those guys have in store as well. But let's move on. Number 4, this was a close call because they were tied record-wise, and they've played 2 thrillers back-to-back now, including the championship last session, as well as a matchup earlier this season from the South. OTM, right? Only the motivated. Their captain right now is on the shelf. He's more of a coach right now. That's Nick Loriano. Had some wrist surgery, but well, Lucas, I guess you played down south, so you can kind of speak to OTM as well as I could. Tell our
For sure.
listeners.
Yeah, no, losing Nick was that was huge, but I think we made up for it. We got Josh Bonney filling in for him, as well as Ja'Cory. I'm not sure of his background, but man, this dude flies, man. He reminds me of. He makes me feel old when I see him run. He's been insane. Um, I'm also we have Corey as well. We got a Ja'Cory and a Corey, a big 6'5" slasher. Man, I think we've gotten better since last session as well, for sure, man.
Yeah, I'd agree. Josh again has won
Oh, how do I
championships that
forget Big Mike as well? We
yeah,
got Big
yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, you got Mike Ward and Jimmy Melton, who are legacy MVPs, and sort of, multiple time all league performers. You've got Corey Bird, who, in my opinion, is more of an elite player because of his athleticism. And then, like Lucas mentioned, you got Ja'Cory, who's really strong shooter, kind of a pickpocket, kind of reminds me a little bit defensively like a Jorsa Joseph, with his
Mhm.
impact out there and ripping guys. So that's a really tough 4 seed right there for OTM. But let's keep it moving. Number 5, we go back to the Central. This is Team Classic. So they were kind of pushing for a top 3 seed there until a tough loss last night. But break down Team Classic for us, Kenny. I know they're 4-2 on the season.
Yeah, so Team Classic, head by Jay Resto. He's a local guy. He's been in the Framingham area, winning championships at some of the other leagues in the local spot. He's got Jamal Carlson, who used to be a South player, that's made his turn to the Central, as well as an Aaron James, who's 6'7", that was picked up in the draft. So someone that no one really knew who it was, and he pulled him. He's actually from the Framingham area too, which is great. So he's got some size there as well as some shooters around him. Unfortunately, Marcin Popla, he had an injury, so he wasn't able to play this season, but he has John Django and Sito Mata as some shooters around him and some slashers too. So I wouldn't sleep on them, even though there was a loss yesterday, but they're definitely gonna make some noise in the tournament, I think.
Yeah, I've got a lot of experience playing against Jay Resto teams. One thing I can assure you, he's going to be very well prepared from a scheme and tactics standpoint, whoever he's playing. So best believe he'll be on Live Barn or in Sports Visio, watching those games for whoever his opponents are. And yeah, he'll throw everything in the kitchen sink, right? He's played box and
Yep.
one, diamond and one, full court presses, any type of zone, strong man defenses. He's yeah, local men's league legend, to be honest. A lot of championships over at Lifetime. But all right, moving on. Number 6, back to the South. We've got Lobos. They're maybe a dark horse team. They've won championships before. They've got a championship core. captained by Rafael Lobo, but they bring back his cousin Mission Vieira. I think he might be injured right now. I'm not sure, or coming back from injury. But they've also got two of the pound for pound best rebounders and defenders in the league, Alan Abuna and Bill Pierre on that squad as well. So they're hoping their big man Reggie Lewis Jr. will be able to recover from an ankle injury. That'll be crucial here for that first round matchup and beyond, or sorry, I should say Sweet 16 matchup and beyond. But that's a good squad there, and they were also, I believe, 4-2 on the season. Number seven, sticking in the South, is Demon Warriors. That's Wally Callum's team. They pulled off a huge upset last night against former champion Programming. We weren't too sure how the pieces would all fit together there because they do have a lot of guys who can put the ball in the basket. But hey, they finished the season 4-2. They beat up on Programming pretty convincingly last night, despite the start of the game, Programming being shorthanded. But they had more than enough time to make a comeback there. But behind Bumi Yusufu, Chuck Orisakwe, and hearing an echo there, but maybe that's just on my end. And Wally, of course, they're definitely a team who we could see win a few games in this tournament. A lot of South here, but number 8, Mambas. Huge rivalry win last night. They finished the season, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they finished 3-3.
3-3. Yep.
Yeah, but that's Nate Stratton's team. They've been perennial contenders for the most part. And I think they've made it to 3 championships in the South Conference, but have not taken home the hardware. You never know. This could be the team. I mean, if we'll have most likely an episode later in the week where we really break down these matchups, and maybe who some of the dark horses might be. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a team with Nate Stratton, former MVP, Ian Holder, a flamethrower like Angel LeBron, Darius Zahedi. That's a really well-rounded team, and they put it on Bobcats last night. Bobcats, I think, were for many the favorites coming into that game, and they beat them 73-46. So they're streaking at the right time, and I would not count Mambas out. Now they'll be matched up. We take our turn here to the bottom half of the bracket. They'll be matched up against Team VVS or VV. So, I'm not sure how we pronounce
VVS.
that. VVS,
VVS.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
like a VVS diamond. Yep.
got it, got it. So yeah,
Yep.
so break that down for us, Lucas. You can tell I don't own too many diamonds there, but
So they're led by their captain Gerald. Um, Not sure we will see him in. He got injured recently. I'm not too sure we're
Mm.
going to see him, but they still got more than enough talent. They also got Jannar Jones. He was on
Nice.
Moneyline. He was on that championship team. No, yeah, was that? Yeah, that was from the summer session. And the other big names that I see that can really anchor that team is Odell. Um, had a huge game last week. I believe it was 45 points, man.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Though they got a very solid team, man.
Nice, nice. So those 8-9 matchups can always go either way. So we look forward to that one between Team VVS and Mambas. Now the ten seed to take on uh, um, uh, Demon Warriors comes from the Central. That's Dog Culture. So break them down for us, Kenny.
Yeah, so Dog Culture is captained by Curtis Williams, a former teammate of myself. He's been in Lifetime. He's played in these leagues for a good amount of time. He's going to anchor that team with a fast pace, good hard defense, attacking the rim, etc. But then he's got some shooters around him with Anthony Tolson from the Framingham area. So local guy he's played with in the past. So they had that chemistry already built into the season, as well as Travis Thomas and Philip Jones, who are just pretty much automatic from the mid-range and three-point line. When they get open shots, they're going to hit them. So if they have that ability of attacking the basket as well as shooting, they're going to be able to score all around.
Nice, nice. Yeah, the 7-10, another popular upset pick when we think about March Madness brackets. So we look forward to that matchup, and we'll talk about it a little bit later in a pod later this week. The 11-6 matchup here is going to be Kenny's team, right? The 3D Force going up against Lobos, his former team, right? So how's
Yep.
that going to shake out for you?
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I've already had some guys reach out for me, just saying like this is fate. This is going to be a matchup that we need to have for the state tournament, which is good. But yeah, definitely familiar with this team, 3D Force. I think we're a well-rounded team when we play together. It's just sometimes there's points where we come off that one goal of doing what we're saying we're doing in timeouts and stuff like that.
Mm.
But going into the playoffs, I think we'll be able to turn that switch on and continue pushing forward. We've had a couple close losses. We played with big homies. The whole game. It ended up coming down to free throws at the end of the game, where we had to start fouling just to try to get some points back on the board. But that team's undefeated. They've been undefeated, so we can play against the high competition. Same thing with Team Classic. So I think it'll definitely be a good game with my former team. I wasn't able to get a chip with those guys, so hopefully I can push forward with these ones.
Love it. Love it. All right. Looking 5-12 there, that's probably the most popular upset pick in most brackets there. And that's going to be Trace Leches. A lot of people did not expect to see them qualify, but they pulled off the upset last night against a Mustangs team that I think were winners of three in a row. They were going to be one of my dark horse picks here coming into the state tournament. But Trace Leches behind the prolific backcourt of Bipin Tamang and MJ Cardoso. I mean, if you wanted to pick two guys who you say, hey, we're going to have a team where two of their top scorers are going to go for 50, that's probably my pick. Would be those two players, just because those two guys, despite maybe being vertically not the most daunting, they're both under 5'9", but those dudes can just fill it up, and they are coverage nightmares for any perimeter defenders. But they also have really the key is Andy Groh. Now, I think Andy Groh is the best big man in at least Legacy South. I'm not going to speak for the other two conferences, but I know Mike Ward has a case to be made, and there's probably some others that I'm forgetting, but or Jerome Overstreet. Maybe Jerome and Andy right there neck and neck. But Andy is what maybe the most well-rounded. We can say that because he can step out and shoot it. He can finish very efficiently at the rim. If you follow the page, you've seen his monster performances and box scores this session. So you put a guy who's very capable of going for 430 himself, along with two prolific scorers like that. And as long as the ball moves around for that team, they're super dangerous. So, not that he wasn't going to, but Jay Resto, should definitely watch some film on those guys to be prepared, because
Yeah,
that's a very good team.
I think Andy's a 3 or 4 time player of the week, or top performer. I mean, so he's had some numbers this session, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Not
And with the
looking at
10
all
team
the numbers.
division, it's tough to do.
Right, right. And not having all the numbers in front of me, but I tend to think if Trace Leches can make a Final Four run here, I think Andy has a very solid case for MVP, to be
Yeah,
honest. I think the
absolutely.
only thing that would hold him back right now is maybe the team record. But great player. And we'll see how things shake out with that 5-12 matchup. As far as the 4-13 matchup goes, the 13th place will be from the Central Division. That will be Kie Fitness. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so Ezekiel, he's their captain. He's tried to build the team to compete in this tournament, which is good. He's actually got the brothers of Joe and Jeremiah Sharafa, one being 6'7", the other one being 5'9", complete opposites.
Wow.
One's a defensive player, one's more of an offensive player. It's interesting to see that dynamic play. But then they also have Casey Cunningham. He's a very good point guard. He's able to be the floor general of the court. The record doesn't always reflect what's going on the court, but they also had a very big win last night against Team Classic. So that kind of gave a good nod to them, in my opinion, where they stuck it out. That they were 1-1 against them during the season, and they toughed it out last night and were able to pull off the win. So they're definitely. I think this is my team that could potentially make a good run, and make it into the next round and coming off that win yesterday.
Love it. Love it. All right. So 14th seed from the North, Z Warriors. So Lucas is back up. This is his other team, his home location team. So Lucas, talk to us about Z Warriors.
So the Z Warriors are obviously led by their best player, Lucas Pinto. No, I'm just kidding. Um, Honestly, we've had a crazy season. We've definitely lost a few players, but we've been able to pick up some key players in Kevin Joseph. 100% dude's a stud. He's a one-on-one monster. Just yeah, be careful if you're on an island with him. That's all I'm gonna say. And don't sleep on Rich as well. We've got some great pieces around him. Rich as well as Luis Diaz was also a very key pickup for us. And yeah, obviously myself, man. I mean, just you better step up. That's all I'm gonna say, man. You see me behind
All
that
right.
3-point line.
I'm taking notes. That's the first round matchup. So but yeah, no, I'm super familiar with Kevin Cutta Joseph's game as well. He was really a standout player in the Elite North division while we still had it. You can almost bank on him getting 20 points a game up at that level. So anytime you see a guy who's capable of that at the elite level come down to legacy, he's a 40 ball threat, a true 40 ball threat. He's a southpaw too, so it makes it a little bit tougher to cover. So yeah, we're gonna
Oh
have to
yeah.
get our rest and be prepared going into that matchup there. Two spots left in the 15-2. We've got Newborn Africans, who's going to be taking on Moneyline. Newborn's from the central location. Fill us in on them, Kenny.
They've had kind of an up and down season. I think attendance has been tough. But Ozias, he's been trying to get five and make sure he has five every week, which is good. But going into this playoff game, they're going to be without Mike Bradley. I hear that he's going down to the Carolinas to do some adventuring, so he won't be there this weekend. So that's a big loss for them because he's 6'4", presence in the middle. He can shoot the ball a little. He's got D3 talent, so
Yeah.
he's got the ability to score when he needs to. So it's going to be a big hit for them. However, they do have Emmanuel Boderby, he can score pretty much at every level. He can shoot the three. He can attack the rim. He can hit the mid range. He can fast break. He's a very good guard. As long as Ozias and Emmanuel contain that and they can shoot a little bit, I think they have a chance to put up some points. Not saying it's going to be a pick to win, but they should be able to compete.
Yeah, that's tough to lose Bradley. I'm not super familiar with their team. I am familiar with Mike Bradley though, and I think especially going into a game up against a player like Tammy Bailey, you would have loved to have Mike Bradley and his 6'4", probably even longer wingspan and just
Yep.
that D3 experience and talent there. But yeah, let's see how it shakes out. Last one here. Public Enemy comes in as the 16 seed. Are we going to see a UMBC circa what was it, 2020, no, 2019? We're gonna see a 16-1 upset here. Lucas, break down Public Enemy for us.
I'm not sure about that. I think Public Enemy might be in trouble. This has kind of been the theme in the North, where a lot of teams have been fallen victim to injury, and it's no different with Public Enemy. They unfortunately lost, in my opinion, their best player in Peter Maffo, who
Mm,
played Division 3. But lucky for them, they still have Marcus Collins. You got a very solid small forward in him. Dude can easily give you. I mean, he gave us 35 and like 15. And they got a very solid big man in James Mitchell,
mm,
and they are led by Tommy Santo, the captain, who also won the championship with Moneyline in the summer, man. And this guy can really shoot the ball too. And yeah, just also do not sleep on Andre Kilkenny. He's a very tough shot maker,
mm.
and he will take your ankles. He has a lot of sauce to his game.
Nice, nice.
Do
We
your
look forward to
homework,
seeing it.
guys.
Hey, you need and you know it's not technically March this upcoming weekend, but you know the madness will have begun with our state tournament. So you really just need one guy to get hot. You know, we saw it last year with his name escapes me, but the shooter from Oakland, you know, in that first round upset of Kentucky, hit like 10 threes or something like that. So, you know, if you've got a guy capable of that, you can go out there. Crazier things have happened. So that is our state tournaments bracket and field here. We'll have this up on the website along with game times, schedules. You know, for the most part, if you're a higher seed, you're probably playing at home. The lower seeds will go on the road. But over the next, you know, we're going to play for the next 4 weeks until we crown a state champion. Hope that you guys are excited as we are. And that's a wrap for this episode of the BYO Pod. But we'll be back later in this week to go more in depth with these matchups, dark horse picks, and ultimate predictions for the tournament. Catch you guys later.